All right, I want to talk about this guy here, Gideon OKK. You guys know who Gideon OKK is? Gideon OKK is. I've never really paid attention to him. I think I've seen him in passing. He's an actor, I think, in Nollywood actor. I'm not sure, but anyway, more importantly, recently he went through a divorce with his wife, and he's had a lot to say in recent times. It was quiet at first. This is our last story for the day, by the way. All right. It was quiet at first, and but then he said something, and I was like, you know what? Damn, man. And then he said, if I start to talk, when people say if I start to talk, they're about to talk. And they're going to talk more than necessary. If you find yourself saying, if I start to talk, there's a good chance you're going to say more than you need to say. At that point, say, you know what? I won't talk. If I start to talk, you know what? I'll just not talk. Right? Yeah. People say, no disrespect.
He shock you.
You are probably already being disrespected. Or respectfully. At that point in time, carry your load and leave, because you're about to be disrespected if you haven't been disrespected already. Okay? If I start to talk, which you want to talk? Anyway, let me see what he wants to say, right? Let's get back to it rather quickly. All right, so let's see here. Okay, there you go. If I start to talk, there will be no holding back, right? There will be no holding back. Of course, they're like, we don't want to hold you back. Can you say something? So because the millipede that was stomped, these people they speak English. Jesus Christ. The millipede that was stomped on did not scream. The person that poop never remember. It's the person that packed the poop that remember. But the foot that stomped on it keeps screaming, my foot. It's sweeter in Igbo, sha, but you get the gist. Oh, it's an Igbo thingy. Okay. But my people say that Adiro Igbo Ayala. So I'll be the bigger person as always and keep living life. Let me guess. He won't keep living life. He will tell us more. Anyway, that's him and his wife, his ex-wife now, or ex-wife to be. It's sad to see families break apart. That's particularly one of the major reasons why I started this platform, to help those that are already in the family, so that their family don't break apart, if that's what they're trying to prevent, or at least learn how to do it better the next time around. So he finally decided to talk. Wait. Let me see. Yeah. He said at first he announced his breakup and stuff like that. But guess what? A lot of men do when they hear somebody announce and say they don't want to talk. They're actually trying to do the right thing. They want to protect their family, their ex-wife, their children. They don't want to. But some lame guy is going to go in his back channel and say, "Let me guess. This woman for the street. I knew it. You should speak up, so you can help the rest of us men," right? Yeah. So he said, it's on the announcement of my separation divorce that I realized that so many men are going through and enduring a litany of heels as an offshoot of a failed marriage, right? Leaving the kids in tow as victims. My DM has messages to boot, but I need to ask. Now, I do appreciate that some people speak up. Let me be honest, okay? Because some people do need to speak up, because the other side of that, if the other extreme side of people not speaking up, is not good either. Okay? But it's a little tricky, because I want people to, there's a balance that's needed, right? And we will continue to talk about it, right? What therapy is reserved or advised for men who find themselves backed up in this corner? You don't want the help. What you rather do, for the most part, is end up in an echo chamber where people will repeat talking point and say things you like to hear. People that will tell you it's not your fault, even though I too don't think it's your fault. But because you believe it's your fault, any rhetorics that supports the notion that it's not your fault is all you want to hear, right? So there are men content creators that do share stuff to help you, but you don't want those for the most part. All right, so he goes, men who find themselves backed up in this corner, there's no therapy reserved for them. He says, is speaking up a shame thing? No, it just depends. Are you losing your masculine frame in the space of speaking up? Are you moving reckless? Are you self-sabotaging while you're speaking up? There's a way to speak up in a way that's helpful, in a way that you don't self-sabotage, right? That's what we need to talk about. That's what we need to come to agreement about. There's nothing wrong with speaking up, you know? Is it a shame thing? No, it's not. But there's a way you speak up that could become a shame thing. Does work, capitalized, or the advice of going back to work really dulls the pain? No, it doesn't. If you're going back to work to fix the issue or to push your issues under the rug, that doesn't help either. But disengaging from work, it's not good. I need you to be working, okay? Kids are definitely a mumu button to the man who has not abandoned his kids and his responsibilities to them. Suddenly, all you're good enough for is fees. Yeah, that's happening a lot too, you know. But again, it's about what are you going to do about that, right? What would you do about that? When you say you want to speak up about that, what do you mean? Do you need to drag the other person, right? Do you feel like it's only fair to drag the other person since they were dragging you too, right? These are all self-sabotaging moves that will hurt you too. But your seeds still lack their vitamin daddy. Damn. Be humane, be humane, be humane. Let me see if there's more before Kintobe. If you really love them like you claim, basically you're discounting the fact that your ex-partner loves them already by saying that. You're being sarcastic. There's condescension in that statement. If you really love them like you claim. And not only that, there's quite a few millions of people that are watching this. So the spirits are at effect here. When she sees this, she's not going to say you're right. She's going to become defensive. It's going to get worse. Right? She's going to feel like just feelings, it becomes real. She's going to feel like all of these millions of people are now attacking her. Even if there's a nice positive comment right there that she can read that say, be nice to your wife, she won't read that. It's the negative ones that she will be seeing and she will react accordingly. Guess who will collect woto? You. It gets worse. If you really love them like you claim, give them what they need. Be humane, be humane. Essentially, you're saying they're not humane. Maybe you're right. As a matter of fact, I will probably tell you you're right.
You're right.
But being right is not good enough. Being right has no wisdom in. It's just good for you. That's about it. Okay? It's not good enough to create the best outcome or even better outcome. So it's easier said than done. It takes a lot for you to really feel this way. Okay? Somebody says something just so I make sure the feed is working. I'm live. Just say, yes, we're here. We are listening. Just say that. I see the numbers, but just say yes. I'm not sure if it's my feeds that disconnected or something. Just say yes here. Say one if you're listening. Just say one if you're listening. Just type in one if you're listening. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's not about you anymore. Let me see if there's more here. Oh, he has more to say. Remember, I said, oh, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you, Kathy. Thank you for that. I just want to make sure that you're listening. Dear single mothers, listen, there's some messages here for you single mothers. Okay, there's some things here you should at least understand where he's coming from. At least understand that. Okay, this message you pay attention to. Okay, I'm about to read it with you for the first time. Okay, when I see this, I find them interesting just off of the title. Then I pull it in. So I'm reading with you for the first time. But you should pay attention to like, what can I learn from this? If you're a single mother or anything like that. Okay. But the main reason why I'm doing this lesson is for the men, okay, that will find themselves in the potopoto, okay, and feel the need to protect themselves by jumping onto social media to say something in the spirit of let's help other men. There's a good chance you're not going to be helping this man, okay? They can relate with you. That's about it. I guess maybe that can help somebody, but in terms of the actual delivery of the help they need, eventually, they're going to need to do a little bit more than relating with other people in the same situation. Okay? So, just imagine this person. The best thing you could have done is what you just saw him do. Just relax. And then let's help you pick you up and pull you out softly, gently. Because if you do too much, the potter will be all over your face before you know it, right? So that's what the social media is messy. It's a beautiful tool. We're using it right now, but it's a very messy place if you don't move with wisdom. Very, very important. So let's read it. Dear single mother, you didn't pluck those kids from the trees, condescension. Okay? You didn't buy them off the shelves at ShopRite. It took two of you in love, okay? In love, it's reminiscent, to have the privilege of the legacy of kids in your life. People go a whole lifetime without these blessings you have on your laps. That's true. They are a gift from God. Being an only child myself, I can tell you what women go through to find this gift for free by God's grace. Yeah, good point. Why you can't they use this same gift take they punish another man? Why are you using these children to punish men? It's bad behavior. Bad behavior. Why? How come why? I'll tell them why, but why? I'm asking you why too, right? If you participate in such behavior, right? I'll tell them why though. You know, there are two different types of whys. I'll tell them why. I know the why he thinks already, but I'll tell him the other type of why. Or so you thought you were punishing him. Stop the cap. You're disappointed? But no, it's the kids. Get out of the way. You're in the way of your kids' emotional balance. You are in the way.
Mind me.
This is the young man here. I want to hear what he has to say. I'm not sure if he's going to speak to it. Okay. But the why, there are two different whys. Number one why is she's been evil. Okay. She's been wicked. She's being wicked to you. Okay. And the second type of why is it's a weakness. Shout out to Natu. Natu, I don't see you today. But anyway, we yield. I'll see you tomorrow night, I guess. Right. The other type of why is weakness. He thinks it's wickedness. Okay. Now, if somebody is being outrightly wicked, you posting this kind of post on the internet, they will get more wings, right? They become even more wicked, right? But if you see it as a weakness, which is not positive either, right? If you see it as a weakness, you're first of all able to have empathy on yourself first, because you can't give what you don't have to another person, right? And second of all, you can have empathy because obviously she's being weak, right? Then you can also say, I tried to see the babies yesterday. What happened? You can have a conversation depending on the energy between you and her. You can have a conversation around what's the best way to make it easier for all parties so you can make sure that the babies are good. You do agree that the baby's emotional balance is the best thing, right? And they need to agree to that first. If they don't agree to that, or they're having a hard time agreeing to that, oh, it's really bad. They're in their weakest point in life. By the way, they're probably blaming you for being in that position. And it's no wonder why they are punishing you for that, quote unquote, trying to punish you. But it's going to take the same process to get them to the results you're looking for, which is maybe to see the kids, to continue to have relationship with the kids. It's going to take a lot. It's easier said than done. Trust me. It's going to take a lot of patience on your part. But it's the only way, literally. Or you can go the opposite side. See it as wicked. What do you do with wicked people? You become wicked to them. What are you doing to a person who is the mother of your kids? You're being wicked to. You're being wicked to your kids effectively. It's not going to work, right? So it depends on the meanings you attach to these events of life, right? The meanings you attach to them will drive your next move, right? Would determine if you feel disengaged from your power or not. Your power is definitely not dragging your family on social media. But let's see what he has to say. Maybe I'm still missing something. I don't know him personally. Maybe, just maybe, right? Let's keep going.
Dinner. When I good morning, you know.
Good morning.
I just wake up, just remember one thing now.
Tell us.
You remember that day where those two women go meet Solomon? Where they go meet Solomon for Solomon courtyard. King Solo. Two of them. Then they argue for who born the pikin. One saying I'm my own. The other one say,
shout out to Instablog Niger.
Let me get the pikin, oh. And Solomon looks, no long thing now. Bring one of the women. Baba, no cut time now, na bread. Baba, no cut time, no be bread. The other woman say, hey, Baba, give me half, give her half. Yes, now so it be, me will carry half, they go house. But the real owner of the pikin say, Baba me, instead of you give the other woman, make she hold her, make she carry. Man, me, I want a day now. When I good morning, you know.
What? All right, so I don't see any relevance.
Woman, make she hold her, make she carry and go. If thicker than water, one day these children, Baba, not be bread. Give the other woman. And Solo look, say, Solo dragging it go, say, wisdom.
Is he a comedian too?
And Solo says, when I call that other Olusho, when I carry and go inside guard room, that woman a thief. And Solo give the actual owner of the Pikino. Then the whole world call Solo wise man. Now because of this thing,
that's Bible story.
Solo na wise man. Wise up, wise up.
That's the story. At least it's not talking with his face. But anyway, let me see some of this comment. Our sneaker store says there's a thin line between love and hate. It sounds like someone that doesn't have access to his kids. Ladies, you got to work on this. Not you in particular, but even advising friends and stuff like this. I know it's easier said than done. When you feel hurt, yeah, put the kids first, man. You know. And majority of these modern men will need your help. Okay, they may not have that level of patience that I'm suggesting. It just get worse and get worse. You feel the need to punish them more and more and more. In fact, with that being said, I think I need to cover one more story today. Let me hope I can find it. Let me see here. Yeah, there's one more story that I probably need to cover. No, I'll leave it alone. We'll cover it tomorrow. Let's call it a day. Anyway, that it didn't work between a man and wife doesn't mean that it won't work between him and his kids. So the issue with this, she's right, whoever this person is. The real life issue and the way this happens in real life is that she didn't feel like it didn't work. She felt like he was evil. He was wicked. Feelings, not necessarily reality. But feelings do become your reality. Right? So that's what's going on there. Right? And if you don't approach that woman with that understanding or acknowledging how she feels, right? It's highly unlikely that they're able to comprehend what you're talking about, because you're right. Just because it didn't work between a man and a woman doesn't mean that it won't work between him and his kids. In fact, one of the most popular things that talking point that people say a lot is that, oh, he can be a good father and not a good husband. Yeah, to some extent.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. Okay, but it's true. But to some extent, stop the cap. Okay. Generally speaking, it's the same skill set. Okay. If he's considerate with regards to raising kids, it's considerate with regards to being a husband. Okay. He can be. But it's true. There's some differences there. But at the core of it is the same behavior, you know. So, for example, I'll give you an example. If you want to call out the mother of your kids, you jump on the internet and you're just being a good father. It's the same things I'm sharing with you: emotional intelligence, social intelligence, self-intelligence, power intelligence. It's the same thing at its core. That's all I'm saying. Now, when you get to the different layers, it shows up differently. That's why it's possible that a man can be a good father and not a good husband. But it's because of a disconnect from the core, from those core principles. Right? Let me continue here. Dear woman, you can't possibly get yourself pregnant. All right. So this woman who is talking has not been on the receiving end before, which is not a bad thing. That means they can see what's going on inside of the forest from outside of the forest. But the person of inside of it, you need to acknowledge that they might not be able to see it that way. Right? Why? Because to allow you to why should be a ball, right? If you want to catch a monkey, you act like a monkey, right? You want to get them to be able to change their behavior, you kind of have to acknowledge where they're coming from first. At least understand it. At least, maybe not understand it, try to understand it. Just them feeling heard and feeling like somebody is listening might just be all you need for them to adjust. And if you're more focused on calling them out of the bad behavior, you might just help yourself create more of the same results. If you are the woman punishing the man with the kids, I'm not talking to you right now. You need to stop it. If the man doesn't pose a danger to his kids, there's absolutely no reason why he shouldn't be allowed to play his role as a father. Yeah, you say that to that kind of woman, she will literally perpetuate what you are complaining about. Literally. I'm not giving excuses for them. I'm telling you literally how it's going to work. Okay? Divorce is not easy, especially when kids are involved. All right? So, good points. Good points. But it doesn't leave room for the emotional aspect of these things. Okay? Let's see. Michael says, majority of these single dads who complain about not being given access to their kids, they were either not there for the kids when they needed to, or they were deadbeat dads. Majority is generalization.
Stop the cap.
Majority is generalization. Rebecca, hey Rebecca, did you just get here? Why can't he be both? What we need to do is both. Okay, that's the goal. Be a good husband, a good father. He can do it. Yes, that's what we need to strive for, right? Yep. But yeah, let me see. There's another one. Yeah, majority is generalization. That's best. I don't know why anybody. One deadbeat dad is one too many. When we're talking about human beings, one is one too many. There's no need to generalize. Address each issue individually. My sister talk is a safe place. I'm not sure what that is. When you turn a joyful, happy lady into a scorned, Mercy says, when you turn a joyful, happy lady into a scorned woman and still have the guts to come to a public space and scream foul, no need to talk, dear woman. Your pain is valid and needs no justification. What is the difference between Mercy and our sneaker store? What is the difference between them? The difference is not good or bad. I hope you know that. All right? The difference is not stupid and wise either. Maybe, but not stupid. Wise and lame, yeah, maybe. Right? Lame as in like surface level. Like, that's all you got? Try harder a little bit, right? What's the difference between them? Okay. No, I think the difference is one can relate with the woman, with the potential woman that we don't really know anything about her, right? And the other is soft life. Just be perfect human being and you will never attract a bad husband. One person is like that. One person has put themselves on a pedestal. One person is being logical. One person is being what's the word I'm looking for? One person is there's a word I'm looking for. One person is thinking of life as a straight line, right? And the other person like, if that woman, even if it's not your fault, if the fact that they engaged you in a marriage has turned them to a scorned woman, and you still have the guts, okay, that part is shaming a little bit, right? To come to a public space, right, and scream foul. He said, no need. Remember, he said here, dear, he said, dear single mother. He didn't mean that. All right? He didn't mean that, dear single mother. He's trying to say, y'all niggas, single mother, need to stop. That's what he's trying to do. Right? And most people can read through it. They may not be able to explain it in words. In fact, both people could read through it. But the other person said, let's check her. Let's call her to order. And the other person like, you know what? You're justified. But you don't really need to come to social media. Mercy is much more the kind of comment I will probably put out there, right? It's closer to it, right? Your pain is justified, is valid, but don't come and be doing that condescending, dear woman, dear single mother, because it's giving. It's telling us, you probably behaved like that inside of that marriage, or maybe, probably. I didn't say it's a fact. Probably that same behavior showed up inside of that marriage. You tend to like, sweetie. But you really don't mean sweetie. You really just want to drag that person, right? The way you behave in one little aspect of life is how you tend to behave in other aspects of life. Just you need to be aware there's patterns. But a typical human being may not see that because emotional intelligence is not really that easy. Okay. Sandra D-Love, you've been hiding. Have you been hiding from us? Wait, did I see you today yet, D-Love? Shout out to you, by the way. Yeah, I did. You were here in the beginning. Yeah, that's true. In fact, you started dancing first. But yeah, some Sandra Ieua. Who is this person? This person has a verified check mark. At least he wants to see his kids and expressing it. And expressing it. Every time you express yourself is a good thing. You can talk too much, just so you know. You can talk too much and you can talk into the wrong atmosphere. Just so you know too. Okay. Shout out to the young lady. She's trying to help our brother out. And expressing it, but some men don't care about their children. And they will come on social media and be showing off traveling from point A to point B and don't even care if their children is doing is okay. Chai, a lot of irresponsible men are getting away with a lot in Nigeria. So I would definitely tell you that we don't know how his conduct with his children are, but this is not a demonstration of it. Okay, just coming on the internet and saying I want to see my kids, it's not a demonstration that you care about your kids. Let's just be clear about that. All right. Let's be careful about this idea that when you jump on the internet and express yourself, No, it's not. I've always told you that. The internet don't care. It's the streets. The streets don't care about anybody, okay? The streets need to eat. And on the social media streets, it's attention. And people will say something stupid just because it gets them likes. Okay? Anyway, Emeka says, whatever he did to you is between two of una. Don't restrict his children from him. All right? I can't disagree with that. Right? It's just that the person you're talking to is only getting attention. Right? Or they're getting offended. Anyway, King, this person says, OM, let's call it OM. Until people, especially Nigerians, learn to ignore and put aside the pressure of getting married, y'all will always end up with the wrong person. Just because you went through divorce does not mean you end up with the wrong person. That's another stupid, captious thing that people say. Okay?
Stop the cap.
Just because you are divorced does not mean you end up with the wrong person. Okay? You end up with the wrong person. Here's why I don't like it to be said that way. Okay? When you say it's the wrong person, what does that make the next person? Even if you don't vet properly, make them the right person. You see? It's like an equal equation, like a very quick scientific formula that we put to something, right? To make us feel better about the next person, when it actually, statistics shows that people that enter second and third marriages, 75%, up to 75% divorce rates. Why? Because they keep pointing the fingers in very silent, weird, little twisted ways. Things like it was just the wrong person. Okay? You gotta be careful with that. You gotta be careful with it. You gotta be careful with that kind of talking point. Okay? Unless you're willing to say, I was the wrong person too. That person was wrong for me, I was wrong for them. If you're balancing that talking point out like that, sure, maybe you can get away with it because at least you're not pointing finger. But any act of pointing finger, right, while it might make you feel better in short term, while it could actually be true, I want you to understand that the good of it is short term. For the long term, you need to do a little bit more work, not on the other side of things, but on self. Very, very important. The rhetoric, the stories you're telling yourself has effect on your outcomes. That's what I'm saying. Right? They're not just semantics. They are born from a certain type of mindset. Right? So this person is going to conclude that Gideon married the wrong person. He has two children. He has children. I don't know how many children that he cares about. There's no reality or context where you can say that was the wrong person in this context. Let me read the context to you again. Until people, especially Nigerians, learn to ignore and put aside the pressure of getting married. Right? We tend to blame it on pressure of getting married too. Right? Y'all will always end up with the wrong person. The wrong person? What do you mean? His ex-wife? He's going to need that person to be his family. He's going to treat that person like family for the rest of the lives of their children. Wrong person. What else do you mean by wrong person? What else is this mindset driving? Right? This life simple. Now people just they make them difficult for themselves. Not only are you judging the other person as the wrong person, you're actually judging him. So I'm not sure if you're helping him with that type of mindset. Here, let me shout out Shimama, one of our members here. Shout out to you. She said, MOB. In my view, sometimes a man is doing all this for social media and to prove a point for the records. Yeah. So he has evidence, meanwhile, want to contribute little or nothing to the kids' upkeep. Yeah, because the reason why I will rock with that, in a lot of ways, that's what's going on. Empty barrel make the loudest noise. This is true in every ramifications of any way you can think of it. The empty barrel make the loudest noise. You know, There's a place to get attention, even in business. We need attention, right? But you got to know the limitations of attention. You better have some value behind the scenes. If I keep doing clickbaity titles here and you come inside and there's nothing to learn, eventually the algorithms will be able to tell that there's no value because they are reading how long people are staying on the videos to watch. And eventually it won't show it to you anymore because you've demonstrated you don't care, right? So if all I have is just loud titles, eventually I will tell on myself. Yeah. Spunky. No, G says some people can be a fantastic and loving dad, but a terrible husband. This is as you can tell right now, they're justifying what went wrong inside of the marriage. They're trying to justify something there. Something went wrong inside of the marriage. Doesn't have to be his fault. Something went wrong, right? If you keep saying things like you can be a great father, not a great husband, you would just basically completely you would throw out the bathwater, right? Thinking you're preserving the kids, but basically you're throwing out the kids with the bathwater too. You just didn't realize it. Okay? It's like people saying, is there a difference between single and being married? A relationship and a marriage? There's not that much difference. The majority of the difference is paper and the mental attachment that you have towards the paper. The power you give the paper is what it has. But at the core of things, it's the same thing. When things are being readily available, they are taken for granted. Complacency will creep in. You're oblivious to what's really going on. Other people see what's going on with your partner before you because see finish don't enter. The same thing happen for the most part in terms of how life is moving. But you're right. The mental value that we attach to the paper of marriage is huge, but that's all it is. That's the only power there is to it. And of course, you can exit faster than some other, particularly because you think you can just exit anyhow in marriage. Not because it's a real thing, beyond perception. Right? Some people can be a fantastic and loving dad, but a terrible husband. No, if you can't figure out how to parent without calling out his wife or ex-wife on the internet, that is literally part of your parenting skills, literally. So the argument, they add up. Argument is not adding up. I beg, hit that like button. If you're getting value from this, please hit that like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hit the like button. Thank you. Hit that like button. Yeah, particularly to shame her. Maybe not intentionally, but at least subconsciously, that's what you're trying to do. Let me get my feelings out in these social media streets and hope that if she reads this, she's going to read it. Even if you delete it off of your page. Now it's been here for how long now? Since April 26th. It's on Instablog Nigeria, especially if you're a man of certain level of attention. This is part of your parenting skills. This is part of your parenting skills, being able to protect your children even when you're caught up in your feelings. Your feelings. Right? So G is not going to help you. Some people can be fantastic and a loving dad, but a terrible husband. How? What do you mean? How, Sway? Right? Spunky goes, if a man is financially available for his kids after separation or divorce, even the most difficult woman will not stop him from seeing his kid. It is well. No, women, stop the cap. Some women will, yeah.
Stop the cap.
Yeah. Let me see the replies. You can't categorically say that, please. Your interference is not accurate. Your inference is not accurate. There are some other pertinent issues unknown to you. Anyway, oh, that wasn't the reply. That was the reply to some people can be fantastic. Yeah. My sister talk, you really tried. My sister talk, you really tried. Very useless somebody. Jesus Christ. They're going after it. Yeah, so I'm telling you. Let's call the cap when we see the cap. Hey, Joy Girl says, see, no need to shalaye. 80% of these online in-laws don't give a F. That's the truth. Do what you gotta do to protect the sanity of yourself and your kids, and do what's right in the eyes of God. The rest of these people don't deserve any explanation. The thing is that when they're putting this out there, they don't realize they're doing shalaye. But it's shalaye. Shalaye doesn't help. Complaining doesn't help. Okay, you just over explain yourself. Okay. Boo Boo says, marriage is wild. How do you go from 100 to 0? God, I beg. It's only marriage that they do that thing. It was only marriage that, because of the same reason, because it's being documented. So there's a whole covenant behind it. So that's a big deal. It is a big deal. But in terms of what you need to do inside, it's the same things. You nurture your relationship. You intentionally cater to particularly the emotions of the other person, because that's literally all that matters. Okay. So while you come, they drop half gist. They're calling his cap now already here. Person match you when you turn to millipede. Person match you when you turn to millipede, and one vex talk waiting really happen. No, they never really tell the full story. They tell their own side of the story. That's to be expected too. Them don't warn us already. Make we know they put mouth for family matter. That's true, because you don't know. You can't take one side. You can't take one side. You just know that there's a 50 million side of the stories. Okay. So why you come there? Okay, truth sayer. When they call themselves truth sayer, I'm probably calling cap before they say what they have to say. But let me see. Let me see what truth sayer says. So, sister, please talk. Don't let the narrative be one-sided. Oh, okay. This man has 2 kids that is not in their lives, as he claims. It cannot be the mothers that are the issue here. Clotter says, it be like say una two go just talk, make we rest. Even social media is getting tired. Right? Even social media is getting tired, yo. Anyway, I too am getting tired. I see somebody inside the chat finally made it. Natu, where you did since now? What's happened? You missed a lot. You think you missed a lot, right? Anyway, do me a favor, Natu. We're gonna round up right now, but I'm gonna do this really quickly, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna round up in about a few minutes, okay?